Halloween in January, where it's cold and spooky. Welcome to the new episode of Goosebump Book Reviews. This week I read one of my favorites, The Haunted Mask 2. And here it is. This is the cover, and he is, Steve, and he's really spooky there. He looks like my great-grandfather. And here's a pumpkin, because he's trick-or-treating, like Carly Beth did. I will read this one. I will read the back for you. Just call him Bruneface. It says, Steve Boswell will never forget Carly Beth's Halloween mask. It was so gross and so terrifying. But this year Steve wants to have the scariest costume on the block. So he gets a mask from the same store where Carly Beth got hers. It looks like a creepy old man with stringy hair, a wrinkled face, and spiders crawling out of the ears. Steve's definitely got the scariest mask around. Too bad he's starting to feel so old, so tired, and so evil. And then it says, Reader beware, you're in for a scare! Goosebumps. And then the one immediately following this was one of my favorites, The Headless Ghost. It's really spooky. This one was written in 1995 by R.L. Stine. Right there. Ooh. So in this book, the hero of the story is Steve Boswell. And if you've read the first one, he was one of the characters who was really mean to Carly Beth and did pranks on her. And he even put a worm in one of her sandwiches. But he was always tormenting people, Steve. He's really mean. And in this one, what he does that's so mean is he even puts like concrete in a soccer ball. And he hates the first graders. He hates them. And he even like put a he wanted to put a squirrel in the girls' locker room. And that was really mean of him. And then he teaches soccer lessons, and they all gang up on him, and they're really mean to him. And then he wants to get back at the first graders, and he tries to go and get a new mask, and he wants to know where she got the mask. Carly Beth got the mask, and he really gets mad at her, and she warns him never to go to the costume shop because of what happened with her the year before. But he even like threatens her. So eventually, Steve and Chuck head out for the haunted house supply store. And then they get there and the store is gone. It's just abandoned. It's like nothing is there. But then they look around a little bit and they notice that they can get into the basement where, but then they get a little scared and they maybe don't want to really go in the basement, but they eventually do. And so they go downstairs and they're looking around, and they find a box of all these disgusting masks, like Carly Beth's, but like way worse. And then all of a sudden in the basement, they hear footsteps from above them. And then this is a spoiler. Chuck runs away and he ditches Steve, and Steve is stuck in the store in the basement. And then like the guy comes downstairs, and he gets him, and Steve tries to explain to him that he wasn't even trying to steal the mask, but the guy doesn't believe him, and he was like, I'll buy it, But he does something sneaky, and he sneaks one of the masks under his shirt. And then what happens is Steve gets out of there, and he runs home. And he wants to do a revenge plan on all of the first graders that he teaches. And he gets all the first graders to meet in front of the haunted Carpenter Mansion on Halloween night to go trick-or-treating. And he puts the mask onto his face, and the same thing starts happening to him that happened to Carly Beth. It feels like it's really his skin. And he doesn't really know what to think. And he scares his dog with the mask, and it's just a terrible mask. And so things start to happen to Steve, like he starts to feel like an old man. Like the mask looks like this, like on the cover, like an old man face. So he starts to feel like an old man. And so he doesn't know what to do, and I don't know, Carly Beth thinks that they get back together, Carly Beth and him, and she knows where he got the mask, and she knows what it could do to him. So what they do is what happens is they go to they decide to go back to the mask store, and what happens is it's still unlocked, and Carly Beth pokes around in some boxes, and she finds a suit that matches the mask that Steve is wearing, and this is what happens. It's crazy. She holds the suit up to like near where Steve is, and what happens is, because he can't get the mask off, it's just like with Carly Beth, it's stuck on his face, and they need to find the one thing that helps. And this is what happens. She puts the suit up to where the mask is, and the mask is lifted from Steve's head, and it floats back, and it goes onto the collared suit, and the old man is now completely alive, and he's thrashing and being all mad around the room. And Steve is what happens is Steve is back to normal, but the old man runs away, and he just leaves. But they're so happy that Steve's back to normal that they didn't even notice that the old man leaves. And then this is where it gets really crazy, is when they're walking home, Chuck, which is Steve's best friend, pops out of the bushes wearing one of the other masks from the store, and he explains what happened was when he was in the basement the other night before the old man came down. Chuck stole one too, and it's crazy. And he also in the very end of the book, he explains to them that he has help getting the mask off too. So maybe R.L. Stine is working on a Haunted Mask 3. It's only a matter of time, really, until he does it. So that was my review of Haunted Mask 2. I give it 4.5 creepy, crawly, old slimy man masks out of 5. Because it's the first sequel in the series, and it's really good. And you should probably read it, because you will not be disappointed. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next review coming soon. Thank you. Ah!